This morning, want to welcome to the show very special guest. She is the head coach of the Southern University softball team. Let's welcome to the show Coach Brittney Williams. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am doing well. It's a great day. We got some games going. Well, getting ready to play, so it's always good game day.
Oh, yeah, the season is rocking and rolling, and glad to have you on with us. Last week, she was busy with this team picking up some W's. And let's talk about the Southern University softball team as we get things rocking and rolling. Right now, you guys are 3-6 on the season, riding a 3-game win streak. But you started the season out on the West Coast, taking on teams like California Baptist, San Diego State, Utah Tech, and Cal State Fullerton. Talk about that trip over to the West Coast and the Eastern Classic, and what that meant for your program to go out. And also, does that work for recruiting for you out on the West Coast?
Yes. So over 50% of my team is from California. So this trip was 2 years in the making for us. I have a senior that's been playing with me for 4 years that never met her parents. They haven't been able to come watch her play. So being able to provide the opportunity for her whole family to come out, cousins, like uncles, aunts. We had a ton of fans in California. I had some commits come out and watch us play as well. So the trip was amazing for our fan base, and also like it taught us a lot in such a little weekend. A lot of the teams we played went to super regionals or regionals last year, and it humbles you a little bit. Lets you know like what needs to be done to get to that level. If you make one little mistake, they capitalize on it. So I was glad that my team was able to learn that early.
50%, over 50% of your rosters from California. What is that California connection for Southern to go out on the West Coast and bring some of those players down here to the South?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of them, their parents went to Southern University and have moved out to the West Coast. And then also travel ball teams that I have some connections with. Shanita Edwards is one. She's a huge connect for me out there in California. And she came out, also sent me some recruits from out there. So that's kind of how that California connection happened.
Looking at that California connection, and for you looking at recruiting, let's talk about some new names to this team as you guys get the season started this year. What are some additions to this team, and what did we lose from last year? And when I say additions, I'm looking at maybe freshmen coming in as well as transfer portal.
Yes, we have Katiana. She is our leadoff now. So Asia George was our leadoff for 3 years. And Kat has come in and as a freshman and taken over that role in that spot. She's batting over 600 in that spot. We have a JUCO transfer, Andy Suhai. She was high on our radar coming from JUCO. She had over 60 RBIs and over 16 home runs for the season. So we're really excited about her showcasing her talent on our team as well. And then we have a new pitcher on staff. Her name is Aaliyah Zambala and Emma Rogers. We have two. Emma's from New Orleans. So getting to see them showcase their talents, too, in the circle. So we're excited about that.
Looking forward to this season. All right, let's talk about those games in California. What did you learn from your team to start the season off? You know, it started off a little rough, but the level of competition that you guys were up against was pretty tough. But looking at your team, figuring it out, and let's go around the bag, starting from your pitcher and everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I loved it. Before we went out there, we did our scouts. I told them, like, we were facing some teams that their averages as a team was over 300. So that means 1 through 9, you have to fight in the circle. And they capitalize on mistakes. If you leave it over the plate, it's getting sent out of the park. So the first 2 days, I mean, we were getting home runs hit off of us like nobody's business. And then day 3 and 4, we kept the ball in the park. So that was a huge win for us. No home runs were hit off of us that day. So huge growth in the circle in that area. And hitting-wise, being disciplined. So we aren't used to seeing, as much spin and speed as they have out there. And I thought our hitters did well. I mean, we started off LMU with bases loaded. So proud of them taking what we did into practice and portraying it out there on the field.
Then you guys go over to Covington, Georgia, for the HBCU Collegiate Invitational. You take on North Carolina Central. You fall short by 2 runs in that one, but then you pick up 3 wins in a row against Coppin State, 7-5. You get Howard in 6 innings, 13-5. Then you closed it out 7-6 over Fort Valley State. That last game against Hampton, because of weather, did not take place. But then you also had Texas A&M Corpus Christi also got due to weather. But looking at your team in those games and those 3 wins, 3-game winning streak, seem to have figured it out.
Yeah, so I'm huge on Kobe. We watch Kobe clips, and one of his biggest things is you lose or you learn. So we learned a ton in California. And I told them that when we were there, told them that when we got to Georgia, like, now it's our turn to teach lessons. I said, we learned a lot. Now we are the teacher. So we took that in. That first game was a little rough for us. We had a rough ending. I don't want to blame anybody, but it was rough. And then from there, I think it really clicked. They are like, okay, yeah, we're here to teach some lessons. So hopefully we continue that on for the rest of the season.
Now you guys continue. You up in Monroe, Louisiana, the Warhawk Invitational today at 11 a.m. You're taking on Stephen F. Austin. At 1:30, you have Eastern Illinois tomorrow. Up that way, you have Houston Christian. And then at 3 o'clock at Houston Christian, that'll be at 12:30. And then at 3 o'clock, you guys will end things out on the day with ULM. What are you looking forward to in that Warhawk Invitational up in Monroe against this talent?
We're looking forward to compete. So we did well in the Georgia tournament. We grew. There's still some things, of course, as coaches, we always see things we can improve on. So I'm ready for the next step. We're ready for domination to come out there and set the tone for the game and continue that tone. Once we're up, continue to stay up. So little things like that, just perfecting our game so that we are ready for a select tournament.
And then next week, you guys are going to keep things going in the Southeastern Mardi Gras Mumbo Invitational. You guys are going to take on West Georgia, University of Maine, Iowa State, Monmouth. You know, as you continue to go through, talk to us about some bright spots of these young ladies this year. Who are you looking for to have a breakout season this year for Southern University softball?
Definitely Alana Mark. Alana Mark has had 3 very good seasons underneath us. This is her last year, and she's ready to just go off. So I'm looking forward for her to, I guess, surpass what she has done in the past. Miranda and Jordan in the circle on the mound for us, they were freshmen last year, sophomores this year, and their mentality, the way that they think, the way that they compete in the circle has grown so much. So I'm ready for them to showcase their talents and increase their strikeout ratio and be big in the circle there. Also, Alyssa and Alani, they're both my seniors and captains. They lead so well on the team, and they've been quiet for the last 3 years. But I'm ready for them to break through this year.
Tell them it's time. Time out for being quiet. Time to make some noise. You know, and let me ask you this. You know, as you look from last season into this year, what did you learn about yourself as a coach? Because, you know, every year you look back and you evaluate. What are some things you learned about yourself as a head coach coming out of last season that you felt could help this year?
So last season, we went further than we expected. I'll say we lost some middles. We had a pitcher in the middle, and we had a second baseman who had arm surgery, and we made it to the tournament, fought there. So I feel like we filled those holes, and everything else around it is pretty much the same and has grown and gotten stronger. So this year we're working on capitalizing on our strengths and competing at a more efficient level.
And looking at yourself, Coach Williams, it's not just you on your staff. Talk about your staff. Any additions or what's going on with your staff as you guys get the season started off here in 2025?
Oh, man, I love my staff. Coach Jessie Watt, she's been with me for 4 years now. We actually switched roles. So she did pitching in the past, so I have pitching and scouting this year, and she has been working with the hitters this season. So that switch has kind of both lit a fire underneath us, and we always compete. So I want the pitchers to be better than the hitters, and of course she wants the hitters to be better than the pitchers. So we always weekly evaluate and see who did better that week. So it's fun having somebody on staff that is as competitive as I am in a good way. And then we have Coach Sanford, who's out there with us as well. He works with our power hitters and our outfielders. He's very enthusiastic. He's also a former human jukebox. So that connection that he has with the Jaguar Nation and getting our social media out and just kind of getting the word out about us, he's brought so many fans to our games and things like that. So we're excited about what we're doing together collectively as a staff.
Well, Coach Williams, I wish you guys much success as always because you represent Southern University. And for any of our listeners out there up in Monroe, the Warhawk Invitational, the Jaguars taking on Stephen F. Austin today at 11 a.m. Get a chance to go up there and support Southern University softball. Get a chance to meet Coach Brittney Williams and the staff and the players. And guess what? More importantly, they in the state of Louisiana. So with them being not having to leave the borders of the state, they need support because I know we got the Jaguars up there, the Jaguar Nation all across the state, and I'm sure we have them right there in Monroe. So they need you today at 11 o'clock and at 1:30. You guys also play tomorrow at 12:30 against Houston Christian, and you close out that series, that invitational, on Sunday at 3 o'clock against ULM. Anything else out there, Coach, that you want to let the public know about yourself and this team?
Yes. So off the field, we have two girls that will be on billboards. So when you're driving around Louisiana, I have one in Prairieville. She's on a sign encouraging people to not vape. Cure Miracle Tilford, she's out there. And then we got one of Southern's first female athletes. She signed to the G team, so she'll be on the Gordon billboard. So we're proud of them. I support them in everything that they do, especially the business aspect of the sport. So if you see them, give them a honk on the billboard.
I will give them a honk on the billboard just because Coach Williams told me to. And, Coach, most importantly, thank you for all that you do with these young ladies, especially bringing them so far. You say more than 50% of your roster is from California. That's a long way from home. I know sometimes they can get homesick and all type of other things, but to be the coach to make sure they're comfortable here at Southern University and then getting them on track to be successful in life, not only on the diamond but off of it. Appreciate you and all that you do as well as your staff, Coach, and good luck to you guys up there, or should I say you ladies up there in Monroe, Louisiana this weekend.
Yes, let's go Jags.
Let's go Jags. That's the voice of Coach Brittney Williams. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.